Good morning, sunshines. Today is Thursday, October 1st, 2020, and you know what that means? Two things. It is the first day of Vlogtober and the first day of Socktober. I'm so excited.
And there's 4 more days till my 10th birthday.
Right? How is she already almost 10? Who said that's okay? Not me. When did you get so old?
Since I was aging up.
Oh, okay. Since she was aging up. In case you didn't understand. So yesterday, I took 5 skeins of yarn to work so that I could wind them into balls. And do I think that I'm going to get all 5 pairs of socks knit this month? No. I do not have knitting time like I used to, but I am going to start a couple at least. The other thing too is that the yarn that I picked out is all yarn that can be used in the festive sock knit along, hosted by Amy Florence of Stranded podcast and Yarn Company. So I am planning on making myself 4 pairs of socks by the end of the year. And then 1 pair of socks is for Patrick. So I'm pretty excited. It's time to cast something on. These are my beautiful yarns that I will be casting on shortly. This one I think I'm definitely casting on. This is Broken Ornaments from Gourmet Stash that I've been hoarding for a super long time. It's a Corriedale base, which I'm super excited to use. I might have made 1 pair of Corriedale socks before. I don't remember. This is going to be made into Hyperbolic Hexagon by H. Lurie. I'm excited. I'm excited for the pattern. I'm excited for the yarn. And then all of the others are, all various types of green, because what had happened was I was like, oh, I should make socks. And then I was like, I could make socks for the festive sock along. And then I looked at my yarn shelf and I was like, well, I don't really have that many festive colors for other people. And then I looked at my specific yarn shelf that's just for yarn for me, like gifts from people that I'm not willing to share the yarn with other humans. And I was like, about a third of my yarn is green. How about I start working on some of that? Actually, I think it's more like half in that section is green. So I'm going to work on some of that. This is just Cascade Yarns Heritage Prints. I'm going to use this for Patrick because the shop sells this yarn, and I am going to be teaching a sock class starting next Saturday. So I'll cast that on in class. So that's not a contender for today's cast on. This is Present Locator from Gnome Acres. And this is going to be made into My Vampire Boyfriend by Kate Atherley, which is a free pattern on Knitty. I'm thinking I'm casting on these 2 today, but we'll see. This is Salt Marsh from Skeiny Dipping, and it is going to turn into the Pointel by Cookie A. And then this is from Penguin Soup. I don't remember the colorway name. It's in there somewhere. So at some point, I will let you know what it is. And it is going to be made into Stellan by Kino Knits. I'm pretty excited for that. What to cast on first? I think I'm going to cast on My Vampire Boyfriend first. And then probably this today. But the needles for this are in my car, so I have to wait. Actually, my needles that are in the car are size 0, but this is a slightly thicker base, so maybe I will cast it on size 1 needles. We'll see. I have a feeling that this is going to be an interesting project that I'm going to have to try on a lot and worry about modifications, but I'm down for it. Anybody who's been watching for a while knows that I like a little bit of a challenge sometimes, especially with socks. Thursdays are lunch date days, and I'm hanging out with this cute guy, and we have smoothies because we're obsessed, and Del Taco because we wanted Mexican food, but nothing else is open before I go to work. So, yay! Do you like lunch date day?
I love lunch date.
So that last clip was me sitting on the back lot of the, like the backyard of the school with a friend of mine, teaching her how to work her loom knitting. But as you can see a little bit, we got some rain. I only got a little sprinkle on me though. It wasn't too bad. So now I'm just gonna sit in pickup line and knit and read and probably crochet. So first up, I have this, which is going to be an owl. So it's kind of based off of the G's Great Owl pattern that I have on Ravelry. I think it's a $3 download. It's paid for, but it's not expensive. And I was just going to copy the pattern, but with one strand that is written for 3 strands of worsted weight, or like a chunky yarn. But it was really, really tiny, so I'm going to have another owl pattern for a smaller owl. And I still feel really icky about having my patterns on Ravelry, especially because, did you notice where it says that Classic View will not be available sometime in spring of 2021? I don't like that. I also haven't done my research to see if they, like, what they're moving forward with, if it's still just not good for accessibility, what they're planning to do in March, or if they're just like, not too bad. So I have a thought. Well, then let me know what you think. I am thinking about setting up a new Google account for just my designs, and then hosting my my patterns on that Google account, like in the drive, and then it would be a little convoluted. It would be a couple steps, but have people email which pattern they want, like, I don't know, host a post on my blog that I haven't used in forever, of what my patterns are, have people email this new address, and then share the PDF with them from Google Drive. So that way it's always there, kind of like how Ravelry has your library accessible. And that way I'll also have a record of who bought, so like if they somehow lose the link, I can just reshare. That's my thought. What do you guys think about that? And also my hexagon socks. It is started. I'm really excited about this one. I did not bring my other sock, the Vampire Boyfriend socks. I'm 2 rounds in, so hopefully more progress on that this evening. But yeah, here's my hexagon sock. I'm super excited about it, and I'm going to be reading Black Leopard, Red Wolf while I work on those things. I'm still super behind. I did not read it on Sunday like I said that I was going to last week on the podcast. So I'm super behind, and the meeting for it is this weekend. So I need to prioritize reading this because it's Thursday. I can get through it. It's fine. I just have to really buckle down and focus. So what happened was I started watching podcasts, and I haven't been reading quite so much. I did read a book this past week though, which I'll talk about on the podcast tomorrow. So yeah, I just need to remember that I want to read this book and stop watching podcasts for, 3 days. Hi, it's 4 p.m. in the afternoon time. That's what PM means. Sorry. It is dark because there's a storm. And Mara was just like, "Oh, I wish this would go away." And I am living my best life right now. This morning, Patrick was like, I was like, "Oh, I'm so chilly. It's so cold outside." I don't know how cold it was this morning, but it was chilly. And he was like, "Whatever, you're loving it." And I'm like, "Yes, I'm loving it. I have my hand knit hat on, I have my hand knit sweater on, I have my hand knit socks. I'm in it. I'm so excited for this weather, including the storm that's going on right now." Isn't that a beautiful sound? How could you not be excited about this? Love it! Also, I cannot get over how many beautiful colors there are in the trees around me right now. Love it so much. I'm not gonna lie, new roof plus new gutters make this storm the best storm that has ever happened. Ever. Yay! Oh yeah, my gutters are finished. They weren't on last week's podcast, but they are today! Well, technically there's one little piece that my brother has to do, but it barely counts. Actually, he might have done it. He probably did, since there wasn't rain dripping off of the roof as I was recording that last clip, and I just didn't notice. I just stepped out to fact check. That's why my glasses are wet. He totally put that piece on, but didn't take his ladder. Whatever. I mean, if he leaves his ladder forever, then it can be mine, right? It's so cool. It's like, it folds down really small, like maybe 4 feet, but it extends and it can flip open all the way, or it can stand like this. Why can't I think what that is? But each side extends height-wise, rung by rung separately, so you can have it on an angle like this, or like 2 legs like this. I'm obsessed and I want one, but I don't actually have a real use for one, except I really want one. And then I could get rid of my painter's ladder instead and have that cool ladder instead. The nice thing about my painter's ladder, though, is that it has a tray for paint. Anyway, I'm gonna go work on some things and read and generally be super excited about the storm. Evening plans. I have my mitered square blanket that I'm gonna work on a little bit. The owl, I'm gonna do maybe a wing and then probably be done for the day. I'd like to get through the cuff of this today. This being the vampire boyfriend socks, I'm really enjoying this hexagon sock. It starts at the top of your ankle, so as you can see, I'm not very far in it, but I'm working on that. I have a Aura pullover, size baby, that I'm going to work on a little bit. The sockhead hat, which I may or may not work on, and I'm going to try to read some more of Black Leopard, Red Wolf. I need to get back into it. So I go through these cycles with this book where I'm like, okay, I can read this. I can be into it. And then the action changes, the pace changes, and I don't know, I fall out of reading it for a few days. But I need to finish it in the next few days. I've already said that. Also, we'll cuddle with this girl right here. Hey sunshines, it's about 10 in the PM and I'm pretty much done for the day. Look at that bag and dark circle. That's not cute. Oh well. All of the things that I said I wanted to craft on, I did craft on. I did not make it through the cuff of the vampire boyfriend sock. I think I did half of the cuff. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. It's not a problem with the pattern. It's not a problem with the yarn. It's a problem with I didn't want to do it today. But I made pretty good progress on everything else. And, well, except for this. Except for Black Leopard Red Wolf. I only read about 50 pages today. I'm hoping to read another 20 or so before I go to sleep. Because, let's see, I'm on page 458. And I think there are 620-ish pages. And the meeting is in a few days. So, I need to be reading this. I read like 30 pages so fast, and then like 20 pages were just like a struggle to read. I don't know. I'm gonna go see what I can read now. And I will see you in the morning. Bye. Hey, teeny girl. You ready for bed? You say it's bedtime? We kicked Dad out. He went to work. Now we sleep. Oh, okay. Look at that little tongue. I love it. I know. I'm the worst. I always mess with you. Good night, P. And bloop, bloop. That's the recycling I have to put away. Hey, little girl. You came for bed too? Okay.